The Eagles, who are 8-2, you also don't feel confident about. Like, their defense as well has been phenomenal. Like, arguably the best defense in the league. We watched Houston tonight. We've watched Denver all year. But the Eagles these last few weeks have done some great things against the Packers, against the Lions. But that offense just can't put it together. And for me, Steve, the Eagles winning only one Super Bowl with this roster would be a disappointment. I know it's crazy to say. I know it's tough to get to a Super Bowl, never mind win one. But think about what they got. Defense is from top to bottom elite. Vic Fangio was locked in as their DC. They got a star corner. They traded, and they smashed at the deadline. Jalen Phillips has been phenomenal. You got your star D tackle. The defense is great. Offense, you got the reigning offensive player of the year, Saquon Barkley, top 5 receiver duo in the NFL. The league is there for the taking. And I feel like it would be a disappointment if this doesn't form into some sort of a mini dynasty because they have a stranglehold on the NFC when they play their best football.
Yeah, I mean, I've been thinking about it these last couple of days because it's been a little bit since Monday night. Let's just call a spade a spade. The Eagles are such a hard watch, and they might be the hardest watch in the league. And it's not just because I think they play a boring brand of football, but Kevin Patullo in this offense, they just can't figure it out. I don't know what's going on here. He doesn't know what to do with Saquon Barkley, just keep jamming up the middle. Doesn't know what to do with A.J. Brown, keep force-feeding him to quiet him. He can't get the offense figured out. Defense is elite. Back-to-back primetime games, they've held the Lions and Packers, some of the better offenses in the league, to 16 combined points, but they're only scoring 26 combined points. So it's been pretty clunky offensive performances in some primetime games. And I know Eagles fans are like, dude, what are you talking about? Hard watch, they're 8-2, cry, this is the best team, reigning champs. I get all that. But this is like 2023 where they started, 10-0? Because they're just more talented than everyone. So they're going to rattle off all these wins in the regular season because they're just more talented than everyone. They're loaded. Saquon, Devonta Smith, A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts. But at some point in the playoffs, it's going to come back to bite. Now, last year, they put it all together at the right time in the NFC Championship and the Super Bowl when their offense opened up and they scored a lot of points. But I worry that they get into the postseason and then they have a stinker like this, and it does end up biting. I still think they're the best team in the NFC because they are the reigning champs and they are so loaded. And I think they'll eventually figure it out. But until then, it's very ugly. It's very boring. They keep jamming Saquon up the middle. There's no creativity. They don't know how to get A.J. Brown open. Maybe lost a step. Their best and only good touchdown play feels like it's the tush push. Something's off in Philadelphia right now.
Well, I feel like I've been saying eventually since week 1. And you mentioned last year, Steve, and it's completely fair to wait on an offense to come around. But at week 12, I would have imagined it come together. Like, I thought, all right, they'll get their groove. And then I thought back to last year, I don't think Kellen Moore did anything special. I don't think he was this brainiac offensive coordinator that came in and just absolutely dominated. The difference is they had a run game last year. So even when the pass game failed and they couldn't bank on it, Saquon Barkley would rush for 150 yards on any given Sunday, and they would win the game, and the offense would look great. And that's what they banked on throughout the playoffs, and Jalen Hurts in the pass game ended up coming around. But now it's like they don't look good at all. They can't complete a pass over the middle of the field. Jalen Hurts the past few weeks has not been a good passer of the football. And I think for Philly, with the talent that they got, they'll out-talent, like you said, but it's just messy football. And I think at one point or another, the defense might slip up. You're not going to get 18 weeks of perfect football and then the playoffs as well from this defense. I wouldn't imagine it. Like, there's going to be some games where a team houses a kickoff, like you saw tonight with the Bills, and you got to make up for that. Can the offense do that? I don't know. With the state of the offensive line, with how Saquon Barkley has looked or not looked this year, with how A.J. Brown's been yapping about this team, and honestly, that's pissed me off a lot too, just because at the end of the day, the team has succeeded, and what he's saying is valid, but at the same time, it's like, it's a lot. Like, it's every week, every day, just screaming in your face, A.J. Brown with the media. Something's clearly off. I wouldn't be surprised if A.J. Brown's gone next year. I thought it was crazy to say that last year because they're coming off the Super Bowl. I heard it from a lot of people. But now, clearly there's a tear in the relationship. Like, you can't tell me otherwise. With the production this season, I just think there's something off. Kevin Patullo as an OC, clearly not a good OC. Clearly doesn't know what he's doing. And Philly, although they sit at 8-2 and they've beaten the good teams in the NFC, I don't feel confident about them. I hate watching their game just because the offense is so stagnant and they don't do anything.
I will say, though, the A.J. Brown story is easily the worst in the league. It's either this or Shedeur Sanders, but the A.J. Brown storyline is easily the worst in the league. Dude, I don't even think he does anything remotely bad. It's just the media takes whatever he says, runs with it, and then it makes him follow up, which then makes it even worse. Like, everyone in the media is just so obsessed with everything A.J. Brown says. Like, guys, obviously a star wide receiver is upset that his quarterback can't get him the ball, or his offensive coordinator can't, put him in the right situations in the open field. Maybe it's also because A.J. Brown is projecting because he's lost a step. I heard someone say that. I thought that was a good point. But, yeah, I don't really pay attention to the A.J. Brown thing. It does make things weird in the locker room, I guess. I think the weirdest part of the Eagles locker room is probably just don't like their offensive coordinator. Like, Jalen Hurts, I heard, the tweets, seen reports that they're just all frustrated, and it's probably because they don't like the play calling. First two plays of the game are just Saquon Barkley up the middle for -3 because the offensive line's regress and he gets hit behind the line of scrimmage, and then they're stuck in a third and long where he's just going to throw a go route to A.J. Brown, and they're all off page, so it just doesn't work. Something is off in Philly, but, dude, they're probably just going to win the Super Bowl again, so what am I even saying?
I know, and that's where I'm kind of at right now. I was just looking at the standings here, Steve, and you go through the leaders in each division. Like Chicago, I'm taking Philly. I don't think Chicago's great with Ben Johnson and Caleb, but they're not there yet. Like, they've beaten a lot of bottom-feeding teams. Still a successful season, though. Then the Packers and the Lions, I can't sit here and tell you I'd take them over Philly because I watched Philly beat them these last few weeks. It would just be unfair. The Bucks, they're kind of iffy right now. I'm not sure where they're at. I'm definitely taking Philly. And then it's the Rams. Maybe I would take the Rams with how they've looked, how the offense has looked with Devontae Adams and Puka, and I think that would cause that Philly secondary a little bit of trouble. But outside of that, I'd probably still take them over the Seahawks, definitely the Niners, and that's about it. That's making the playoffs. So I feel uncomfortable about the team, but like you said, there's just too much talent here to be overly disappointed with what they got. Like, they have to eventually figure it out if they truly are the Super Bowl team that we saw last year.